Okay, looks like I'm live. Hey folks, how's everybody doing? Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday. A little bit of an odd day and an odd time for me to have a show, but it's well worth it because I have a guest on from the UK. Some of you may know him from his channel, Guitar Safari. His name is Oz. He's been playing for years. He's got a ton of guitars and a ton of stories. So, without further ado, let me bring him on. Hey, Oz, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just munching a biscuit. I'm great. Guitar Hat. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. Nice to meet you too. So we were talking a lot off air, and you were giving me a little bit of a history where you're uh, you were in UK, then you came to Canada, then you went back to the UK, and you've been in the UK for a long time. So let's start right at the beginning. So usually what I do is I try to do chronologically when you got into music, when you started playing, and how that all kind of started up. So how old were you when you first picked up a guitar, or what was it that like what particular guitarist or artist sort of inspired you to start doing this?
Well, I was 10 years old, and my father and my brother got acoustic guitars. And, I was listening to like the Beatles, Alice
Mm-hmm.
Cooper, uh, maybe Kiss. I can't remember, but Kiss was a big influence. Deep Purple,
Right.
stuff like that. And so they had this acoustic guitar and they got a pickup for it, and they got a little amp. I still have that guitar, that pickup, and that amp.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, years ago in Canada, before I moved over, we were looking in the garage, and there it was. The amp
Wow.
still works. It's like a solid state amp, and I used to use it when I was in bands. But yeah, it was just I think we had a bit of music in school. I was around 10, and I think I started to play at home, and then playing in school helped. And it was just music and guitars fascinated me. I mean, I liked Elton John. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting was uh,
Hmm.
a huge influence. The guitar sound, I just that I just thought that was amazing.
I
And
know, eh? It's still, and when you hear it today, it feels like when you the same as when you heard it as a kid. It still has that same impact.
yeah, it's just got I don't know what the word is. It's just so fantastic. I can't remember the name of the guitarist, but I remember also seeing a live band. This was maybe 1 or 2 years later when I was 12, and it was at in Vancouver at like a outdoor fun fair, a big kind of amusement park thing, and there was a band playing, and they were about 16 years old. And I remember two songs. It was Saturday Night It's All Right for Fighting, and
Right.
We're an American Band by Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh,
And
there you go.
great songs. And I just remember there was this one guy in the band. I can't remember how many guitarists, but he was playing a Telecaster, like a cream colored one. And
Hmm.
that just, it made me go crazy. It was just, fantastic.
Right, right.
And,
So, so for the folks in the chat, I'm going to try and keep an eye out. If you have questions for Oz or for myself, please tag me, and then I'll be able to see that question right away. But let me say hello quickly to the people that we have in here before we get going. Brad Miller here. Hey man, Joe Hervey is here. Welcome. Charlie S. How you doing? There's Dwight Bailey, Lars Guitars. Hey man. Tom Harhai, how's it going? Cool. I want to thank you all for getting in on this earlier than usual hack show. And my guest, oh, there's Halfface. My guest today is Oz, who has a channel called Guitar Safari. I have a link in the description, and I also have a link to his channel in the cards if you want to check him out. Hack, do I see some LPs with active pickups? Not on my end, but probably on Oz's end. Yeah.
sorry, what was that question?
He's saying, he's just saying, do I see some LPs with active pickups? So he's seeing EMGs.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 LTDs. There are a couple of them I think are eclipses, the actual eclipse. Actually, like I say, I've got a bunch of guitars, excuse me, that were owned by Bruce Kulick from Kiss. That Silverburst one there, that is owned and signed by Bruce Kulick.
Wow, cool, man.
Yeah, I mean,
were you able to spend any time with Bruce?
Not recently. A long time ago, I did. It's a funny story. I mean, I can show you a cool guitar. Should I show you the guitar and tell the story? It's quite cool. Or do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
is that okay? Or?
Yeah, go for it, man.
It's right here. If I can get it down without breaking anything. So basically, I met Bruce in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
A long time ago.
Oh, and, yeah. Or let me feature you here so you guys can see that. Oh, not me. Hang on. How do I do this now? Not me. Trying to get you just to show up. Or let me take. Cool.
Yeah, so I met Bruce in the 90s, just after he left Kiss. And I'm like, of course, hey, how many guitars do you have? And he told me, and I'm like, oh, I think I have more than you. I said to myself, kind of embarrassed. Like, there's a guy from Kiss, but it's not about how many guitars you have. But so I met him, and I had a picture of it on the wall, an autograph. So years later, when I moved to the UK, this was about 2007, I saw someone advertising this ESP custom guitar. And it said it was owned by Bruce Kulick. So I started emailing people and, asking around, and somebody said they think it was. And I emailed Bruce Kulick, and because I had previously, chatted with him and knew him, so I had his email. So he said, yeah, I used to own it. And so, the guy that was selling it said, I'll trade. So I traded for 2 guitars. I traded a Les Paul, and I got this guitar, and I was over the moon. And the funniest thing is, Bruce acknowledged that he used to own it, and sent me the email back. About 2 weeks after I got it, this is no lie, Bruce Kulick was touring with ESP, the Eric Singer project, the drummer from Kiss. They were
yeah. I know Kiss very well.
Yeah.
And
and so he was touring over in Europe, and he says, I emailed him back and said, you're coming to London at the Underworld. I have that guitar now. Would you sign it if I came?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he said, yeah, no problem. I went down to the show. I brought the guitar down, and he went mad over the guitar, and he started playing it and showing to Bruce Kulick, or to Eric Singer, sorry. Eric Singer played it a little bit, and so I got Bruce to sign it. And then the wildest thing after that is I ended up on Bruce Kulick's website with a picture of me and him when he was signing it.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And so I kind of, start to have a better relationship with him after that. And I used to, I'd ask him, hey, do you have any guitars for sale? So I think at the moment I've got about 9 of his guitars, ESPs and LTDs. I got, like I say, it would take me forever to go through all my gear, but I've got a Viper in white that's signed, that was used in Las Vegas with Dee Snider in the, I don't know, that circus band thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but so that's what this guitar, I've used this on one of my solo albums and recording. I can't remember what the pick-em is. It's Seymour Duncan, I think, and just fantastic. So that's kind of how that all started with Bruce Kulick. I got an email from him just the other day, actually.
Oh, nice. We got a couple of questions for you. Tom Harhai is asking what your current favorite guitar is, if you have a single that is your favorite.
I was waiting for that one. I knew it would happen because I get it all the time. But I did a video about, I guess, my favorite or most popular guitars. Oh, it's a difficult one. I definitely say it's probably probably two or three, but an ESP M2 camo neck through with EMGs and a Floyd, and a 1980 Gibson Les Paul Heritage series with I think it's Tim Shaw pickups, but I've got it just beside me here. But it's the most amazing guitar. It's weird because it's got 50s Les Paul Clousson tuners, and they're shrunk. I mean, I could show it to you later or whatever, but that's probably one of my favorite Les Pauls, and probably one of my Ace Frehley guitars, my Ace Frehley Budokan. I got the signed one.
You got the 3 pickup, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a lot of favorites. I did a video. I haven't released it yet because I usually have a backlog of videos because I don't like to release them all at once and then I don't get a lot of views. But yeah, those are probably that ESP M2 camo and the Gibson Les Paul Heritage, probably my favorites.
All right. Tom Harhide also saying at first he thought you were in a guitar store because of all the guitars behind you, but no, that's weird.
That's just one wall.
That's one wall.
I have 3 or 4 walls, and then there's more in cases.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to when you started, so you're saying 10 years old and that, and you saw some live bands and that. So when did you actually pick up the guitar and start playing? And let's just pick up from there then.
I'll like start playing live, or
well, I know, like playing the guitar, learn the guitar, first gigs, all that stuff. And that's all happening in Vancouver, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was 10 when I first started playing. Started on that acoustic with the pickup.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
And then my first band, I was 12 years old. I think it was called Destroyer because I was a huge Kiss fan. I still am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, awesome, dude. And my first gig, Ace, I think that's probably how I got connected with you. I probably saw you talking about Kiss or playing Kiss or Rush or something,
Yeah, Kiss and Rush for me are like kind of 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Zeppelin would be the third one.
My first gig, I was 14. We played high school at a lunch hour, and funny enough, guess what song we played? "Rip It Out" by Ace Frehley.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, I know, how cool is that? And then we played Rocky Mountain Way. I remember I was really nervous. I had a Man Les Paul Custom, which would be an Ibanez back then. I think it's funny because I had some pedals. I was borrowing or just buying distortion or fuzz pedals, back in those days. It was a long time ago. There weren't, I don't even know if Boss pedals were out. They might have been.
Boss pedals have been out. They were out because when I started playing, you could already go out and buy Boss pedals.
Yeah, this is probably I hate talking my age, but probably late 70s or early 80s.
Boss pedals were out.
Yeah, so I probably didn't really know about it because obviously no internet, but so I had like a fuzz box or something, and it blew up the night before at rehearsal. Like it just frapped out, and so I had a Univox head at the time. I didn't have a Marshall head, but I had a Marshall cap. So when we did the gig, I had to play clean through the Univox, and yeah. So I'm like, you've got your cool pedal. When you're young, I got raunch, or I call overdrive raunch. I don't call it, whatever overdrive. But so I didn't have my fuzz pedal or raunch pedal, and I'm like, I was upset. But I did the gig, and the gig was great, and it was so cool that after the gig, my brother drove all our equipment. After the gig, we're like, we told the principal or whoever teaches, we've got to take our equipment home or wherever. So when we did that after the gig at lunchtime, we just skipped out of school. We didn't go back to class, and nobody said anything. I don't know if we went to jam again or what we did. So it's like you're 14, you're like, yeah, I got the rest of the day off school. Like, we didn't go back to school, and nobody said
it. Go to school. We're rock stars now.
We weren't drinking or anything then, but yeah, that was my first gig. And then probably, when I was 16, I joined a band. It was called Atlanta, and that turned into the Rush Tribute, which was just an eyeball. And I think I got my Gibson RD when I was 16, and I got my full Marshall stack. Unfortunately, someone stole. I actually had a Marshall Super Lead, a 74 head, and that got stolen with my cab, unfortunately, and I got insurance. And that head I gotta say, I never in my life played an amp like it. I don't know if it was modded. I didn't know in those days. When you turn it on, you get that beautiful, warm, creamy AC/DC distortion.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I've never heard another amp. I mean, maybe I just can't, compare or whatever, but I cried when that got stolen. And it got stolen from a garage where we used to practice. Some drummer guy tried out. Next thing you know, no guitars were stolen, but my amp, and I cried. But luckily, I got the insurance, so I bought a full master volume, I guess 1980 stack, and I still have that. And that's what I was using with the Rush Tribute at the time. And I was 16 then. And
cool. Let me just say hello to a few more people that popped in here since we got going. There's my buddy Brian S. Hey man, how are you? Thrash is in here. Hey Thrash. I saw one other person. Pooh Ninja's here. Hey buddy. Spencer Cron. Hey man, how's it going? Okay. Brian S. Ask Guitar Safari if the 97 Ace Les Paul Custom Shop is still in the collection.
Yes, it is. I have the production model also. I've actually used the production model live. I haven't used the custom shop. Yeah, the custom shop is somewhere in the studio. But yeah, the custom shop, I got that probably around when they came out, maybe a year after. I got a great deal. I mean, there's been a lot of talk and negative talk about those guitars and the pickups, and to me, I love those guitars.
There's the DiMarzio Super Distortions, aren't they? Isn't that what they're putting on those guitars?
Yeah. And
that's what he used, right? Those are his pickups. Exactly. That's what he used. He's the one who Kiss were like the band that made DiMarzio.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to advertise DiMarzio on the records. It was Gibson guitars and DiMarzio pickups.
Yeah, exactly.
He put DiMarzio on the map. They put DiMarzio on the map. Yeah,
there's some guy, I can't remember his name, and I'm not trying to put him down, but he did a thing with a custom shop, and he put it under the top with granola. I don't know if anyone's seen that video, but why would anyone do anything that stupid? Like cleaning it with porridge or whatever it was, and it's just really, and he puts down those guitars really bad. And I don't put guitars down. I just play them. If I don't like them, like you say, I get rid of them, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, I still have that guitar. I love it. I think I've done a couple of videos. I've got another one where I'm actually doing a better demo of that coming out soon. So.
Russ Marquardt is in here. Welcome, Russ. So where do we go from there? Rush Tribute Band. So what came next? Was that the move back to England, or was that a little bit later on?
Yeah, the Rush Tribute Band was probably about 2 or 3 years, and it was fun, but it was sort of like I wanted to play more heavier stuff, like heavy metal, like Ozzy and Sabbath. And sometimes we do the odd Sabbath or whatever, right, and Maiden, but we're mainly Rush Tribute. But I wanted to play heavier. The drummer didn't want to, and let's just say I didn't get along with the guy, and whatever. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, we used to play every night or practice or whatever gigs, and so it just came to the point where I think a friend of mine went to England, and I guess it would be the early '80s, and it was right after the Rush tribute, couple of 2 or 3 years. I just went to England. I just went over. I played keyboards too. I still play keyboards, and
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've had Taurus pedals, and I still got some somewhere, and so I brought over my keyboards. I think I brought my double neck and my Gibson, and I just said, "That's it. I'm going to England to do what Jimi Hendrix did, become famous. Well, not famous, but successful, So
Right.
I went over, and I had the most awesome time. I played with a band called Crowded, and I partied a lot, and met a lot of awesome women, and as you do when you're 20 years old or whatever it was. And so it was a whole new world in England in that time. It was all like heavy metal, bikers, Motorhead, Judas Priest, and
Yeah, that was the new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah.
That was the time.
Yeah, Iron Maiden, all that stuff, and so it engulfed me and made me kind of not change, but made me more aware. Because when I was living in Vancouver, I just found I was almost like in a corner of the earth where there's nothing really going on, even though maybe there was. It just wasn't working. So I went to England. I stayed about a year, and then I went back to Canada, got some more money again. And funny enough, it was within a year or so, or maybe even less, I went back to England again and did it all over again. Did more bands, and so I was kind of falling in love with England, and I wasn't having a lot of luck in Vancouver with bands and stuff. I was, playing and doing, and best I could, had a good job, but I was always going to England after I moved back to Canada for a while and got a good job and whatever. But then my job fell out. I was a sheet metal worker, and
Tin knocker.
yeah, and good money, paid vacation, but a lot of bullshit with the workers, the usual stuff. And so then when I got made redundant after 11, 12 years, then I found a band in Vancouver. Finally, it just took a long time. And so that was kind of Snake Eyes, which is my band, Snake Eyes. Yeah, you can see that. I got 3 CDs out, I think. And so, found some people and started doing that. And I had been in other bands, but nothing ever really developed, and, just a lot of talk and a lot of promises. But Snake Eyes was something that was half mine that turned into fully mine, because I wanted to record an album, which was the first album, The Journey Begins. And, the other guys, it just wasn't working out. So I said, look, we'll record my songs. I'll pay for it. And it just went all pear-shaped in the studio, but I got the album done. Then I put the band back together with other members, and we toured all over, Western Canada and Vancouver and Snake Eyes, and, TV, radio, the whole works. Nobody cared. I mean, this is a trick. No offense. Nobody cared. And it was just, we'd do gigs and we'd have, stage props, smoke machines, lights, and people on stage dressed in costume. And we were trying to do, kind of like Alice Cooper or whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like Alice, yeah.
Yeah, heavy metal and blah, blah, blah. And nobody really cared. And so it was frustrating. I thought, so I put a promo package together, and I was going to go to Europe or England and Germany and promote it. So I went over to England and Ireland, and I met somebody, and I ended up, my band broke up while I was away. It was just political crap and whatever. So I ended up moving over to England, around 2000. And I said to myself, I'm going to redo what I did in Canada, or try to redo something. So I joined another band called, what was the name of it? I can't remember. It was a younger band and it was fun. And I started to meet people. One of the people I met was Pete Friesen from Alice Cooper and the Almighty. And I ended up jamming with him in some bands. And I thought, oh my God, how cool is that? And then Les Binks, one of the original drummers for Judas Priest, and he was in that band. So I was like a special guest for this band. I can't remember the name. Sorry, I got a really bad memory. And so, the Shakers, they were called the Shakers with Les Binks. And so they would ask me to come out and jam in England. And I was playing a few songs or 3-4 songs. And I was getting really like, popular and networking with people. And it was great. I thought, wow, I'm playing with these good guys. And so I tried to put my band Snake Eyes back together. And funny enough, I was at a guitar show in London called Gem Fest. It was like all for Ibanez Gems and Ibanez guitars.
Right.
And I don't think they do it anymore. It was really cool. But I met my singer there. And that's how Snake Eyes started in the UK. And it's sort of like somebody introduced me to him. And, I'm still working with that singer. His name's Ant Meechan. But yeah, so I redid my band over here. And, the list goes on and on and on of the things I've done over here.
We got some new people. James Severin is here. Jack the Rabbit is here. Welcome. And Tom Harhai has a question. Where in England do you live? He lives in Surrey.
Oh, I'm in
Surrey for a while, he was saying.
Yeah, I'm at Wizard's Castle in Bedfordshire.
There you go.
Bedfordshire, near just on the border of Hertfordshire and where is it? Leighton Buzzard. I live in the countryside, actually. How cool is that?
Yeah, well, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here.
Alex Radford, welcome. Cool. So you got this the new version of Snake Eyes, the UK version of Snake Eyes, and so does that bring us up to where you're at right now with that band?
Kind of, yeah. We're basically what I'm doing is, we toured everywhere in England, Wales, Scotland, Germany, Belgium, all over, well received. And when that credit crunch happened, that was it. All the money was taken away from record labels and music people. So the scene really got difficult. Germany is the hot spot for music. It's just like the Mecca. I know lots of people there, but it's getting over there and getting your day job wages paid if you tour there. But yeah, I'm still doing Snake Eyes. We're working on a new album. Like I say, I've had some problems with my Mac, with my, and I've got to get that because all my files are on that other Mac. And we did a video maybe a year or two ago called Dark Shadow. That's available for download. So is Soul Stealer. It's on the style of Judas Priest, except, that kind of style, a little bit of power metal, thrash, kind of everything combined. And I've got another project I'm working on. I don't want to say too much about it just in case it doesn't work out, how those things are. And then I've got a solo album I'm working on. And obviously my YouTube videos. And I was playing with the band India Live as a female fronted band about a year or so ago, and did loads of gigs. And it's kind of like glam rock or whatever. It was cool, but for whatever reason I left, or we're still friends, but I did that to get out there again. But I find it, it's very difficult to keep a band together. It's like music now is, brother, and it's a very expensive hobby, and and you work your whole life trying to make it. But for me, I live in a dream. Whether I'm playing in my studio, on YouTube, in a club, in a bar, or a festival, doesn't matter where it is as long as I'm playing, whether there's 3 people or 3,000. I played some big shows, done loads of videos, but it's not easy. We're all here for the same reason, and it's just finding the right people.
Yeah, yeah. There's, I mean, I've been in a few bands over the years, and what I find is you just gotta sort of weigh the good with the, like. There's no perfect band. There's no such thing. There's always going to be a flaw.
Rush.
Well, I mean, that
Yeah,
I'm involved with, right?
yeah, you're
You know
right.
what I mean? There's always a flaw. There's always something that, and
The
it's
biggest thing.
just it basically for me it comes down to, is that something I can put up with or not?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
can I put up with or not? Because for
So
you to find 3 or 4 absolutely like-minded people is impossible.
yes, such true words. Everything you say is so true. I couldn't agree more with you. It's like, can I put up with this?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, can I put up with this guy not doing his homework? Can I
Yeah,
put up with that guy being late? Can I put up with this guy not wanting to gig as much as me? Pick
yeah.
one. I mean,
Personalities.
you know.
Yeah, it's
So
so true.
it's what can you, and then you look at, okay, but if I put up with this, then I'm able to do what I love doing. So is it worth it? And that's how I decide whether I stay with something or I leave, right?
Yeah, and how much drama and grief there is.
Oh no, though I'll put up with things, but except for drama, the zero, I got
Yeah,
zero tolerance for drama.
yeah, you're so right though.
You know. So anyway. Yeah, that's why I say it's pretty getting a band together. I mean, actually, the band that I'm with now that I gig with a lot has been the longest I've ever been with a band, and in that time, we've gone through, I don't know how many we've gone through. Well, actually, drummers not so bad. We've only been through, no, 3 drummers, bass players. We've been through two bass players and 3 drummers, and I I think we're like going on 8 years. So that's
Oh,
not bad.
it's pretty good.
It's not bad. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's really good.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So all right, let me say hello to a few people here and then we'll get back into the conversation. Daniel Horsey is here. Welcome. Six String Brian is here. Welcome, folks. Okay. I think I caught everyone. So when did the guitar collecting start up?
Yeah.
When did that
Well, I mean, probably when I started to play guitar. I mean, when I was young, about 10, 11, when I was getting into it, we used to go to this, a couple places. One was called San Francisco Pawnbrokers. It was a big pawn shop. On one side was all like jewelry and watches and stuff. On the other side was all guitars.
Right.
My parents would take me there. They'd do some shopping at the butcher's nearby. This was like downtown Vancouver. And they'd have tons of stuff in the windows, Man and Raven guitars, maybe a few Gibsons. I mean, you'd look at a Gibson when you're 10 or 12 years old and you go, I love it, I love it, I love it. I can't afford it. I don't want to look at it. You know what I mean? So you'd look at guitars that, yeah, I might be able to afford that. And so I was always the type of person, I'd buy a guitar and I could sell it for more money, for whatever reason. I'd get a good deal on something cheaper than what it was worth, and I'd make more money. And I still do that today. I'm not in it to make money. It's just I can get good deals and I hold out. And so that was one of the places I used to go and just look at guitars. And there was another place called Simpson Sears in Vancouver. I don't know if they had those in Toronto or where you grew up.
Sears?
Yeah, Simpson Sears.
Yeah.
Yes, they used to have loads of guitars too. And like I said, I was really young and they'd be on the wall. I just go in there and drool. I mean, I still do that today, but I'm more kind of into vintage guitars to a degree, but so that's and then I think it all started when I really started to collect was after I broke that string at that Rush gig in the Rush tribute, because the guy didn't bring that Les Paul Deluxe, so I broke a string on that song 2112. The week before we did a guitar change on 2112, so the next week when we did the gig I didn't have the spare guitar, and I broke the string on you. So after that I just said I need more guitars, and it's like, you know, I wake up, I need more guitars. It's just the way I am. It makes me play different styles and appreciate different types of music, and it's just fun, you know. I mean,
that's one thing I find is different guitars will bring different things out of you.
yes,
You know, yeah, like if you pick up a Tele, you're gonna play like I know exactly where I'm gonna go, right? And then if I pick up a Les Paul, I'm playing completely different stuff.
yeah,
You know, almost like the guitar tells you what it or what you when you hear when you associate certain types of music with that instrument, and that's what you're going to play on that instrument. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally true. It's like it inspires you. Like, I mean, I've got a 1946 or 47 Gibson ES300. It's got one soap bar P90 or whatever, and that's my oldest guitar. And I mean, it's like what do they call it? I think is it Gypsy Jazz?
Gypsy Jazz, yeah.
And
Django Reinhardt, yeah.
oh my God, fantastic player. And
Two fingers.
yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Here's us with I don't know how many fingers, I can't count. Yeah, so when I picked that guitar up, I'm like, you know, the other week I was learning all these jazz chords and fantastic stuff. So it's like you say, when you have different guitars, yeah, maybe partly it's ego, and it's I'm no better than the next guy. It doesn't matter how much you have or what you have, as long as you play guitar. I always say that in my videos. You know, it doesn't matter what guitar you play, but having different ones gives you the inspiration and freedom to create different styles and appreciate all genres of music. And you know, I play acoustic, you know, blues, you know, maybe a little bit of country. But yeah, I think that's why I collect guitars. It's like Guitar Safari. What is the next guitar? I mean, I've got a guitar just come from the States, George Lynch LTD Burnt Tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I love George Lynch. He's fantastic. So it's always I've always got a trade going on, and you know, I traded a bunch of guitars to get my 62 and 63 Strat right around Christmas. I got so many guitars then, I'm like trades, but I traded quite a few to get them, and it's just one of those things. But like you say, you find certain guitars at work. Like a lot of my ESPs I've used live, and certain Les Pauls I've used live and for recordings. You have favorites, but there's nothing to say. I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen the new Ibanez Pias by Steve.
Yeah.
Those things are I've actually ordered one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, the green one. I couldn't resist.
There's a lot of controversy about there's controversy about every other product that comes out there, right?
Yeah.
So people will like it, people will not like it. But
I know. It's almost like YouTube. There's people that like it and don't. And I think I like most people and most guitar videos on YouTube because it's people like you and me expressing their love and passion for music, for socializing, for making friends, and asking questions or gaining knowledge. That's what it's all about. It's not a competition. I hate all that crap, like competition. There's so much of it, even in the music industry. Battle of the bands. Like, really? What happened just to say that band's talented, I'm going to give them a gig? No, you've got to prove this. And honestly, it's just a load of bollocks. But whatever.
Yeah. Music Therapy Laz just joined us. Welcome. If anyone's got any questions, I don't think Oz are in the chat, but I am. So just if you tag tag me at Guitar Hack. I'll see the question and I'll be able to pass it on. So okay, speaking of, so James Severn has a question. Jack the Rabbit, can someone post Guitar Safari link? I have it in the cards. I have Guitar Safari's link in the cards, and I also have it in the description below. So you can give him a sub. James Severn, ask Oz how many Les Pauls he has.
Okay, one, two. Let me see. Geez, probably about 15 or 20, maybe.
15 to 20. There you go.
Yeah, I've got a lot of historic custom shops. Like I say, don't judge me because I have some nice guitars. Guitar Hack has some nice guitars. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there do too. I just make my videos to share, but I've got a Jimmy Page. I think a couple of Jimmy Page. I've got the one with the Bigsby, the 3 pickup.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a few Les Paul historics with Bigsby's, and yeah, my favorite one is just sitting over there. It's the Gibson Les Paul Heritage 1980. It's not the Elite. It's got a flame top on it, but it's fantastic. Love Les Pauls though. Desert Island guitar more than likely.
Yeah, you're a Les Paul. I was asking off air. I was asking Oz how he found my channel, and I think that's what it was. I was doing something on a Les Paul or something, and him being a big Les Paul guy. That's how he found the channel, and then yeah, and here we are. So
Ace
yeah.
Frehley.
Ace Frehley. It's man. It's Ace Frehley. You know,
yeah.
right?
Huge Ace and Kiss fan. Like I say, Ace was a big influence.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've got, I think, 4 of the signature models, 2 of the Budicons, and 2 historic, and then the production 97 model.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, I got ridiculed as a kid. You know, Kiss sucks and all this kind of shit. At the end of the day, if you had a dime for every guy that started or girl that picked up a guitar and started playing because of Kiss, you could retire 10 times over, right? Yeah, here, you know,
me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that was the gateway for so many people, man. So many people, like, you know, and I stuck, and I did stick. I was sort of, my favorite period is like from when they started up till about Unmasked. And then in the 80s, I was on and off. In the 90s, on and off. And now I'm totally off. But they had their golden era. And in their golden era, man, they had some really good songs when they were, and their shows were amazing. And
oh yeah,
the concert I ever went to was Dynasty, you know, like, so, you know, they made their mark, man. They left their mark, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the first concert I ever went to, I can't remember what year, probably in the 70s. I'm not that old. I might look like it. I know I look old and tired, but hey ho. No, I'm just kidding. Was Kiss and Cheap Trick. So that was it.
77.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there, or maybe even a little bit before for me. But I mean, Ace Frehley, if you listen to the recordings and even some of the live shows, I mean, there's good and bad of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to look at the good stuff with people. You don't dwell on crappy stuff. I don't anyways. So there's a lot of great playing with Ace and Kiss back in the day, man. Ace was just ripping it up. You listen to it, it's like whatever style you want to call it, old school Jimmy Page kind of, or whatever Ace was playing. It was, to me, I thought was godly, you know.
Yeah. Well, what I dug about Ace and I mean in those records, right, was everything he played to the song. Like those little solos, they took the song to the next level and they fit the song perfectly, right? So and that's what I sort of try to do, right? Like there was a lot of guys that just play and they're great, but it's like they're not even part of the mix. Like, you know, there's no blend there. There's no musicality there, right? So yeah, does Ace play strictly pentatonics? Does Ace, yeah, he does, but he does it extremely well, and he can say a lot with a little, right? And plus he's got those killer licks. He's got that crazy ass vibrato that I love, the overbends, all that, those signature things that he does, the little the staccato pick thing that he does, all those little things that just they work, man, and they sound really, really good. They're great techniques. Yeah, he's not a duff finger tap whammy bar guy, but he's musical. So
I agree. Some guys don't play in the song, but like you say, I totally agree. Ace had a style of his own, and it fit. And
yeah,
it's just one of those things, if you don't like it, fair play to you. But I love it.
yeah, I love it too. We got a few more people that popped in here. What's up, Doc? Welcome. Wolverine is here. Hey, Wolverine. Okay, Six String Brian is asking, what gauge strings do you use, Oz?
Okay, I use a few different tunings. Probably my main gauge is, a few different ones. I use 9 to 42s, 9 to 46, and then I'll use, 10 to 50s or 52s. And then for the drop C stuff, I guess it's like 11 or 12s to 52s or 54s. So for the heavier down tuning, I've got the heavier ones, but usually it's light 9s to 42s or 46. And I use Alexers, Ernie balls. I use, a few different types, just, depending, right?
Okay, cool. Jimmy Biter is here. Welcome. Wolverine just subbed you, Guitar Safari. So
Thank you.
yeah, if you want to sub Guitar Safari, I have the link below in the description, and it should be up in the cards. So give him a sub. They're talking about. Yeah, Wolverine is talking about a video that I don't know if you follow Rigato, but he did this thing where they were comparing string gauges. All these guys were playing like the same riff on different strings and recording it so that you can hear what the riff, like the difference in tone from string to string. And it's funny, like they started at a higher gauge and then they went down. But once they got down to around like the 10s and the 9s, more so the 9s, I think, the riff, they all generally sounded better because it was more defined. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't so. You had more clarity. There was more clarity to it.
Yeah. Like I can kind of relate to that. I mean, I play, rock and metal mainly, and a little bit of blues. But when you're doing that fast picking, you want a smaller pick. I use, I think they're called a flow pick.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Any of you guys, or check out the flow pick. I can't remember who makes it. I don't have any in front of me. It's just a mess. But the flow pick is really good. It's really good for fast picking if you do that. Really kind of, I don't know. I'm like Ace. I don't know all the technical terms for stuff. You do that fast chugging or whatever, on the rhythm. And yeah, sometimes with the lighter gauge strings, it's easier because the string is smaller and you can get the pick in there and play faster.
Yeah.
So I kind of can agree with that.
So Wolverine is saying, Guitar Safari, that video on your page is badass.
Thank you. Which one?
I don't know which one he's talking. Bobby Clipper is here. Bobby Clipper just subbed you.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
So you're picking up some subs, which is
thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I think maybe it's the one Dark Mist. It's my solo album. That might be like the main one that comes on. But like I say, I've got my new studio since last March, and I've only started to do some proper videos. It's something I always want to do. My old videos were kind of bogus, but like I say, I just play. I'm having fun. Like I say, I'm old school. I'm self-taught. And I just enjoy guitars and, trying to meet other like-minded musicians and, make friends and talk gear like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got another question for you. This is from Six String Brian. He's asking if you use amps or if you're into the modeling at all.
Yeah, good question. I've got so much gear. I've been using let me think, the Kemper Profiler. I've got two because my studio's got, well, kind of three sections or two sections. I've got another section down the other end where my Pro Tools is. This has got my other software, and I do other things on this computer. But I've got the Kemper Profiler. I've got it's not powered. I've got a power amp for it. I've been using that a lot for my videos, and I really, if you get some great profiles, I'm telling you what I think. I think the Kemper Profilers are fantastic. I play a lot of metal. I use the Profilers, the Kempers in a lot of my videos. I don't know if I really prefer it, maybe to a degree. I mean, I got lots of stacks, but sometimes I use the Engel. I got the Engel Powerball. I got a Friedman Runt. I got some Marshalls. The problem with the Marshalls, they're the super leads. I got quite a few. You got to run a power break, and then you got to run the torpedo capture thing. And it's
right.
I mean, anyone that does YouTube stuff or recording knows it takes time. And so the thing about the Kempers, you plug it in, and if you've got some good profiles, you're good to go. You don't have to EQ. And I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to say what I use or what I think. You use what you like. But it's just a lot easier than running all. I mean, I do mic stuff up sometimes, but it's a lot easier to use the Kemper profile.
Run it straight in, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not gigging at the moment, hopefully in the near future, but I'm doing lots of recording for music, not just YouTube. So if I do gig, I haven't used the Kemper Profiler live. I more than likely will. I've got the rack one also. Like I said, I got two of them. But I just think some of the profilers are they're hot out of the box. I mean, they're just fantastic. I also used the Line 6 Helix for a while, the LT, the pedal board one. I was gigging with that. The only thing I would say about the Line 6 Helix, I thought it was a bit more complicated than the Kemper. The Kempers are absolutely brilliant and simple to use, in my opinion, whereas the Helix is difficult. The Helix have good sound, but I'm not into, I can't remember what the IOs or some kind of thing you got to do for the speaker cabs, and it's just too much. I do like them, and the Axe-Fx is pretty cool. I've done a couple videos with those, and I do like Model. It's just, you always have yes or no, and so
do you feel like when you're playing with like the Kemper, the modelers, or do you feel any kind of difference in the response when you're actually playing, like compared to a tube amp?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more sensitive, but I think that's a good. I mean, you've got a noise gate on it too. You've got everything there, and it's I think it improves your playing because you can hear. Hopefully, we don't make mistakes, but you can hear any I don't know what the word is, nuances or little things that maybe you're not doing right. So the better you play, it makes you play better because you can hear any mistakes or flubs or whatever. Whereas I find with I've owned every amp. I owned it, Boogies, Marshalls. I got tons of Randalls. I love Randalls, and I don't know. It's just I don't know if I want to compare them. I think they're very similar, but I do love the profiles. It's just easier. Like as I used to tour with 4x12s and 200-watt heads, and you know what? I got a sore back from that.
Yeah.
So, okay, you got a profiler, and you can just get a power amp or have the profiler with a built-in amp. You're good to go. I mean, do you really want to be lugging around those cabs? I mean, I haven't used it, but what I would do, I'd run the profiler through a 4x12. I do have the Friedman powered cab with the 112. It's okay, but I prefer I run my profiler sometimes through the 4x12 at home or in the studio here for whatever jamming, and I like the sound of a cab, like a 4x12 cab. So
Right.
that's what I would use live if I use the profiler. I wouldn't use the powered speaker monitor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got some discussion here. Dwight Bailey just subbed you as well.
Thank you very much, brother.
Okay. Metalhead Hippie, hey man.
Hey, I've heard of that name before. I might have saw him on your channel sometime.
Oh, he's around. Yeah, if you're in the guitar community, you're gonna come across Metalhead, and he's started to do his own shows as well. So if you're not sub to him, you should sub to Metal.
Yeah,
We should all be subbing to each other, folks. I usually say that at some point in the show and try to build up the community. But yeah, he's putting out content now too, which is cool.
awesome. I'm going to check that out. I'll check out everyone out, when the time is right.
Yeah, there's some awesome content being put out by these gentlemen and gals. And Bobby Clipper subbed you too. Cool.
Much.
Cool. All right. Okay, what do we got? All right. I usually try to keep these down to an hour. So is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Stuff upcoming, stuff you want us to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm recording music with my band Snake Eyes. I'm not sure when that's going to come out because, like I say, I've got a problem with my Mac, so I've got to get that sorted. It's always something. I don't have Pro Tools on this computer, and you know what it's like trying to switch around stuff. And so, but I do have lots of YouTube videos. I was actually filming right before this for another one. Got loads of videos, back catalog ready to be released of playing guitar, and got another project that I'm working on. It's probably not so much metal. It's probably more kind of rock. I don't know what the word kind of style is, but it's a little more mellower than my Snake Eyes stuff. And plus my solo, I'm working on a solo album. I'm mixing that right now. So I've got more than enough to do. And, it's, when you get a new guitar, it's like, oh, I need to do a video. And God, I probably got like 10, 15 guitars around Christmas or lately. So it's like, what guitars do I make videos of? And then doing this. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got lots of music coming out, and hopefully I'm going to try and do some music videos for it. But as usual, it takes time to get this stuff done. It's easier said, and I do everything myself pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. You're filming, you're recording, you're editing, and then you're trying to sell the CD online and all that kind of stuff and mix it. And so yeah.
Sounds like you got a hell of a lot on your plate.
Yeah, it's all good though.
That's all good. So, okay, folks, I want to thank everyone for popping in, and I know it's a little bit of an odd time, 3:00. We started on the Wednesday, but so I want to thank you especially for taking the time and checking out the show with Guitar Safari. Again, folks, we should all be subbing each other. We should all be trying to support each other. Let's grow this community. Let's keep it positive. And this chat was great. All the comments were great. Positive feedback from you all. As far as tomorrow night, I'm going to have a show. My regular show is going to happen tomorrow at 8 p.m. So check that out. I got to think a pretty interesting topic to discuss tomorrow. So keep an eye out for the Hack Show tomorrow at 8:00. If you want to support the channel, folks, I got links below. I've got T-shirts, I've got mugs, I've got hoodies, all that stuff. Help support the channel and would be very much appreciated. All right, so thanks everyone for being here. You guys have a great afternoon, and hopefully we will catch you all tomorrow night at 8 p.m. All right, cheers, everybody.
See you later. Cheers, pal.
All right, take care.
Thank you.